Evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching this from. This is Oscar. Um, I thought I should record this uh, just to give my views and my opinions concerning the games that happen, especially the Chelsea Liverpool game. That's the main game that I'll be talking about. But I'll start with, of course, the main teams that played yesterday. Man U, we have Arsenal, then Liverpool, Chelsea. So, yes, Man U, we all expected some drama here or there, but Man U played uh, the way they are expected to play, the way Amorim expects them to play. Most of the things they did were, I believe, what Amorim expects of them. But I believe that it may also had something to do with the changes that were made. The keeper, I noticed that the keeper actually won his air duos. I only noticed one, but he won that duo. I'm not sure if the other keeper would, Bandir would have won that duo. Uh, they played more as a team, and I think they even pressed the right way. They pressed the right way. Uh, they got Sunderland uh, backtracking most of the time, which just made the attack of Sunderland blunt. So I believe everything went well for Manu. Even what didn't go well at the beginning, Dallo, like the Dallo we know of recent, Traore had a chance when it was still 0-0, and Traore fluffed. He missed that chance. So I believe that also had a lot to do with what happened next. Because usually when Manu goes a goal down, they usually struggle. But enough of Manu. Arsenal played well. Arsenal, they did everything that they should do. Only that a few players didn't show up as probably some expected. But not every, a player will not show up in every game. That's one thing that people should. These are not machines. These are human beings. I believe Arsenal played well. Their defense, of course, playing almost close to perfection. Great defending. They did what they had to do, and went into the weekend as a top side. Um, Unfortunately, of course, Odegaard went off injured. Maybe we shall be hearing more about that at some point. So now the game that I really wanted to talk about, the Chelsea Liverpool game. Of course, I'm a Liverpool fan, so uh, I'll give my view. First of all, I will have to give it from a point of someone who is being honest and slightly neutral. To be honest with my views and what I think actually are the problems and what can actually make things better. In my view, I believe the entire Liverpool team, despite bringing on new players, the entire team is off form, bar the keeper. The entire Liverpool team is off form. Alisson, I mean, he has always been Alisson. Uh, I couldn't blame the keeper, the second keeper, Mamadashvili. I couldn't blame him for what happened. Both goals, I couldn't blame him in any way. It had a lot to do with each individual players. The game started the right way, but you see, if it's form is not something that you can switch on and off. Form is something that you build. The same way when it dies out, you have to build it back. So they started in the right way, trying to press here and there. But you see, if it is something that you've not been doing for a while, somewhere somehow the body will give. Somewhere somehow the muscle memory, you will not necessarily be doing the same thing the right way all the time. You will probably, you will fail at some point. So they started well by pressing Chelsea the right way, and of course Chelsea also had their challenges. Chelsea is so short, short-handed, especially at the back. Now, to show you how bad Liverpool was, even a short-handed Chelsea, a Chelsea where actually a DM was actually a central a central defender, they couldn't even do anything. The few sparks that they got, the players that actually brought those sparks were actually subbed. Oh, actually, a few came on, like of course Wirtz, and the chances that they created were messed up. In my view, I feel Liverpool's issue has a lot to do with their form, but I don't think it has more to do with their form as individuals more than it has to do with bringing in very many new players. I'm going to talk about the players, but then I'll also talk about the coach at some point. The players are entirely as individuals more than it has to do with bringing in very many new players. I'm going to talk about the players, but then I'll also talk about the coach at some point. The players are entirely off form. That first goal was down to VVD failing to step up because I think Caicedo made about 3 touches closing to the box before anyone, you would choose anyone on that Chelsea, including, I believe, the keeper would have scored that goal because the man was unmarked. He was in acres of space, and I believe that comes down to individual form and how they are playing as a unit. Liverpool is not playing the right way. The Bradley on that right side, he was cooked. All the games he has played this season, he has been cooked and subbed. That is how bad it has been. And as if I'm a player who plays a particular position, and then let's say I'm a defender, but then a midfielder or a striker is being brought to actually play my position just because I'm playing it badly, I need to look at myself in the mirror and get down to serious work, because you're a professional. That is so disappointing. It is so disappointing. I believe that the individual players really messed up a lot. I can name so many players that I believe were just off it. I can start with Salah. Gakpo has been Gakpo scored. You see, I spoke to a few people and they think because Gakpo scored, he actually should have, it was right for him to actually stay on. In my view, I believe Gakpo should have been, instead of subbing Isak, Gakpo should have been subbed and Ekitike should have played on that side, because there's nothing that Gakpo was doing that Ekitike wasn't going to do. Tracking back, Ekitike was tracking back even as a striker. So basically, what was he doing that actually Ekitike couldn't do? Isak looked good. Isak looked like a threat anytime he got an opportunity. The small opportunities that he got, at some point I believed seemed like mistakes that Liverpool, they didn't probably intend even to create for him, but he got the chance. He actually was showing that actually he's able to actually do something. And which brings me to my next point. How do you have wingers and these wingers cannot even cross in one ball for someone who is considered to be a top striker? At least give the guy a chance. Chelsea has a person like João Pedro. In my personal view, I believe João Pedro is not a good striker. I actually don't think he's a striker. I believe he's a 10 or a winger at best. But this is someone who were crossing the balls for. And most of the times it was Enzo Fernandez actually going in for those chances. And it makes me wonder, why would you have wingers and these wingers cannot cross the ball? All they can do is pass the ball amongst themselves and then lose the ball. Not even one cross. Now, they're saying that, the area, the area of the central defense is tightly marked. But these are makeshift. You have Caicedo as a as a central defender. Clearly, he's not a central defender. And that clearly showed from the assist that Isak made. Isak just blocked him, brought the ball down. Very few, probably no central defender would allow you to do something like that. But because he's not a central defender, Liverpool could not even take advantage of that. The few chances that Liverpool got fell to the person that I believe last season would have been the right person, that is Salah. But he messed all of them up. Now, lastly, let me just say something about the coach. The subs the coach made, besides Wirtz, the rest of the subs were really useless in my view. Let me start with the sub of Ekitike coming in for Isak. That was the wrong sub. Isak was supposed to remain in that game. And we are not going to go back to this whole thing of talking of he's not yet match fit. That Isak I saw was actually seemed match fit. It is crunch time. It is time to allow the man finish a game. Allow the man finish a game. You know? Allow the man finish a game. He actually looked the best. He looked better than all our forward players. So why don't you allow the guy to actually play? And then we come to Kekes and Robertson. I wish someone could just let me know why Kekes was actually subbed. You want someone moving forward. Yes, you want someone to go and help in the attack. But come on. Your backline is being hit left, right, and center. Your backline is being hit left, right, and center. Your sub him. There's no need. There's no need to sub him. Hmm? He was actually defending. He was actually better than any of our defenders. So there was no need to actually sub him. And that goal, the second goal that was scored, that is a classic mistake that Robertson makes all the time. And for me, it didn't surprise me. Honestly, it didn't surprise me. It didn't surprise me at all. Then we talk about putting Szoboszlai on the right wing. Wow, I don't know. I just don't know. You had to sacrifice the midfield. You removed Gravenberg from the middle, of which I believe his defending has always been not good. But I mean, even his offensive play, he's at least a midfielder naturally there. There's no one else you would have brought in, possibly. But you have Jones in the middle. Now you have Wirtz, who is not necessarily going to give you anything defensive-wise. But then you remove Dominic, and then you put him on the right, and then you leave the middle bare. I mean, in my honest view, if he was to sub someone and put someone on that wing, he should have probably brought in maybe a Gomez. Gomez is not necessarily that good. Maybe bring Endo, put him on that wing. Bring someone, but don't leave the middle bare. You know. So for me, as much as the players, their form is really bad, and it's going to take them a while, I believe that their form will, of course, get back. How long it will take, only God knows. But Slot has a lot of blame for this particular loss. He has a lot of blame, in my view. So yeah, that's what I think of the weekend. Yeah, so we just wait for after international break and see. I believe the international break has come at the right time for Liverpool, because if I am to predict with my emotions, I would say Liverpool will win. But if I'm to analyze both Liverpool and Man U right now, there's no way Liverpool is winning that game. Liverpool would at best get a draw. That one I'm saying it with all my chest. There is no way Liverpool was winning that game. So I believe that the international break has been so timely for Liverpool, and it's a very welcome distraction. I hope they'll come back at least better. They'll come back at least with more vigor, willing to actually play, and go back to the positions where they are, the positions of form where they have always been. So yeah, that's my view on the weekend, and I'm hoping that they will be better. All right. Have a wonderful day, guys. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful international break. Peace.